Okay, started. Ah. Okay, so today we are going to deal with this point on meaning of the play in Waiting for Godot. Yesterday we dealt with characters, study of characters, pairs of characters, how complementary nature they have, that we have seen yesterday. And now here we want to see meaning of the play. Now this very idea to find a meaning in a meaningless play is itself confusing also, that how we try to look at a meaning in something that is meant to be meaningless. Absurdity, existentialism, as we have discussed, the philosophy of existentialism, the difference with absurdity, and they all mean to say that there is the life is meaningless, the universe is meaningless, and this play also deals with the same idea about meaninglessness of human existence. Now, in that, if we try to ask a question, what is the meaning of the play? So, how do we deal with this idea? So, first thing we can see here when we look at this idea is first, let us take one anecdote. There is one anecdote given in the study material that is shared with you. I would like somebody to speak on that anecdote. What is that anecdote? Which is about an American director, Alan Schneider. So, American director Alan Schneider, where he wanted to perform the play, and then there is something significant, a conversation there. So, who would like to tell about that? Yeah, okay.
When Alice Schneider, who was to direct the first American production of Waiting for Godot, asked Beckett who or what was meant by Godot, he received the answer, "If I knew, I would have said so in the play."
Okay. So it's a very interesting anecdote. This when the director is asking that, well, we want to perform the play. So if we know the meaning, then we can tell our actors also what to do, how to do, what role you are playing, and how will you act about meaninglessness also. But well, Beckett's answer was there that if I knew, if I knew, I would have said. I would have said so in the play. That was Samuel Beckett's answer to the American director who was trying to stage this play in America. So that is what is in a way an essence, that the dramatist genuinely, sincerely, honestly face meaninglessness of human existence. And so they are writing this play. It is not a kind of a fashion or just to be different. People are trying this. So that is where the very gist of this answer lies. Even Harold Pinter was approached when his play, The Birthday Party, which also had a kind of meaninglessness, like who is Stanley Weber, who is Nat Goldberg, who is McCann, who is that Monty to whom Stanley Weber is to be taken. So who are these people? Why have they come? Do they know each other? They behave in a manner that they don't know, but it seems like they know the past of their. So why? Who are these people? Why have they come? Why they do what they do to Stanley Weber? So when one person wrote a letter with series of such questions to Harold Pinter replied that, like, first tell me who are you? Why have you come here? What is the purpose of your coming here? Then I can give the answer. So that is that existential angst, that who are we? Why have we come here? What is the purpose of doing whatever we are doing here. If that is still meaningless, then in the drama also that meaninglessness is to be given, is to be transferred as an experience through drama. So either Helen Pinter in Birthday Party or in this play also, that is one idea. So there is one point to see that as such there is no meaninglessness because these plays are answering existential angst. These plays are meant to answer a sort of existential angst. So they are rather exploring this idea of being thrown into this world. Thrownness is what they are trying to explore, that we are thrown into a world and then we have to wait for something, or if some suddenly people are coming and then they are thrown in our life, like in Stanley Weber's life also, two unknown people are thrown and then he has to undergo the kind of an ordeal which perhaps he is destined to, or we don't know whether he is the one who has written his destiny. Is Stanley Weber responsible for what is happening to him? We rather remain in dark. We are not able to see the things in clarity. That is one way of approaching this answer. But still, as a critic or as a student of literature, we want to explore the answer. We still want to see that, well, this is fine, you are explaining, but still, what is the meaning? How, or at least how we can approach this very idea of meaninglessness or the thematic concern of the play also. So, what would we try to do here? So, second part of our answer here, we'll try to explore this through the title of the play, which has two important words: waiting for Godot. This too. Okay. So we will explore both the things as a part of our study here also. But before we explore this, I want you to read a part from that material. Somebody from your side on page number 26, middle part, where there is a reference to James Joyce. There is a reference to James Joyce. Okay? Uh, for Beckett himself. So, who would read that sentence? Got it? For a Beckett, for as Beckett himself has pointed out. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
For as Beckett himself has pointed out in his essay on James Joyce's work in progress, the form, structure, and mood and artistic statement cannot be separated from its meaning, its conceptual content, simply because the work of art as a whole, its meaning, what is said indissolubly linked with the manner in which it is said and cannot be said in any other way.
Yes. So this point where we get a key to understand before we see this words and try to explore that, there is an interesting key that is to be seen here. Uh, Key to open this meaninglessness here, and that is what it says. These words are like form, structure, mood. They cannot be separated. Form, structure, mood cannot be separated from the meaning of the play. They cannot be separated. So it is said that what is important is uh, art is both And what is this both? What is said and the manner in which it is said. Yes, and the manner in which it is said. So, what and how, both are equally important to see the work of art. So sometimes we find that what is said, if you want to know, that is meaning, what is here. So it is better to study how it is said. What is this how? In this, how, which manner? Perhaps in how also the meaning lies. Perhaps through how we can say what is the meaning. So this connection of what and how, which gives the wholeness to the work of art, they are inseparable. They are inseparable thing. So if we are telling a story of two tramps who are waiting for somebody in a more systematic manner, where there is a proper beginning, proper middle, proper end, then perhaps the meaning will be completely lost. This anxiety of Vladimir Estragon, this endless wait for something which they also don't know for whom, why, who, they also don't know. They have no surety of Mr. Godot. That's why they are confused when Pozzo comes. Both of them are confused with both the entries of Pozzo, that is this Godot, is this Mr. Godot? They think that. So with all, they don't know who is this person, how does he look, which day is going to come. This all uncertainty of this can be expressed in this manner only. That is an absurd manner only. It is with incompleteness. That way only that story can be narrated. So how is becoming very significant here. Similarly, the next lines, the last bottom line of the material page, uh, in waiting for Godot, that line I want somebody to read. Yes, who will read? Yeah, on this side, okay.
In waiting for Godot, the feeling of uncertainty it produces the ebb and flow of this uncertainty from the hope of discovering the identity of Godot to its repeated disappointment are themselves or essence of play.
Hmm. So here we get something that the essence of the play, essence, though existentialists are anti-essentialist. So to get an essence also is difficult. Essence, word itself. So, but when we try to find the essence of something which itself is anti-essentialist, so this very quest of finding a meaning is difficult. It is very difficult here. But what way we can see what is this essence of the play, and here we can see that it is something hidden in this ebb and flow, ebb and flow of uncertainty. Yes, ebb and flow of uncertainty. Ebb and flow coming from the semantic field of ocean. Daryana moja, ebb and flow. Barti ane ot. So from that word. So tides, like tides, they flow, ebb and flow. What is this ebb and flow of? That is something between hope and hopelessness. Yes, something between hope and hopelessness. They are not completely into a situation where everything is hopeless, but there is still a hope that Godot may come. or Godot will come someday. What is this someday? When is it? They don't know. So they have to keep on waiting. But they have this hope that Godot may come. And then with this coming of, with the coming of Godot, there is salvation that is connected here. So they think that they will be saved instead of being damned. Instead of being damned, they might be saved. Though there might be a chance of only 50% to be saved, yeah, but still 50% chance is there. So Vladimir, he thinks that maybe I will be saved. So that is, it comes with now this hope never dies. So this ebb and flow of uncertainty, and in between there is this ray of hope, as if there is a moonrise. The similar way there is this dawning of a hope keeps on happening in between there. Therein also somewhere the way it is structured, that also perhaps gives us a kind of a meaning of the play. There is a very interesting statement given here, which says that, let me find this. So, the reference is to that once Beckett has said that the way this very idea about thieves is presented, it is very interesting. Page number 33. Page number 33. Middle paragraph, when Beckett is asked about the theme of the play. So even in the theme also we have to refer to this point. But so when he is asked, what does he say? What is this reference of Saint Augustine? Yes, who will read that part? Yes, here. Okay. Yes, you can read.
When Beckett is asked about the theme of waiting for Godot, he sometimes refers to a passage in the writing of St.
Saint Augustine.
Augustine. That is a wonderful sentence in Augustine. I wish I could remember the Latin. It is even finer in Latin than in English. Do not despair. One of the thieves was saved. Do not presume. One of the thieves was damned. And Bucket sometimes adds, I am interested in the shape of ideas even if I do not believe in them. That sentence has a wonderful shape. It is the shape that matters.
Yes, so that is wherein lies some secret to understand this meaning. When it says manner of telling the things, manner in which it is said. So this, that Saint Augustine's, the sentence, do not despair. One of the thieves was saved. Then in a similar way, again, do not. Now there is a change, slight change in the word presume. And again the repetition of the words. One of the thieves was damned. So the structure of the sentence. Now when we write in this way, then only we understand what Beckett meant by it. If we read it in a different order, then we cannot understand the manner. So how things are, for example, repeated here, how these things get repeated, and then there is no repetition, then there is a repetition, and then there is something changing. Then there is a slight change of some other words which comes there. For example, this and this. So if you want to, like he says, I don't believe in the idea, but you like the idea, the way it is written. You do not believe in the idea, as we have seen in the play, how he tries to attack religious ideas. Saint Augustine's idea is religious idea. It tries to give a message to the people. But he says that even though you do not believe in the idea, you may sometimes like the shape of the idea. This shape of the idea. This is something very significant. The manner in which the things are expressed is wonderful. What is expressed, you may not agree, but you agree with the way it is told also. So that is what he perhaps tries to grab or try to capture in the play. So when we apply this, we find that Act 1 and Act 2, both the acts are almost similar. With a slight change only. Slightly things are changing, which some of the slight changes are major changes also. But I'm not revealing it right now here because that was also a part of your thinking activity and your online test also. So we want to see how minutely you have watched the play, or how do you go back to the text in search of the answers. That activity when we'll do at that time we want. So a few things which is very significant. But the other thing that we have seen, like the leaf or leaves, a few leaves are growing. So in the first part, there it was barren. Then there are some kinds of leaves are growing in that. So that change, what does it mean? We are looking for meaning here. So what does it mean? Perhaps the example of leaves which are added in second act. If we try to read this traditionally, for example, if you remember that short story, a famous classical short story, The Last Leaf. Last Leaf. Who is the writer of The Last Leaf? The Last Leaf. O. Henry. Yeah? So it gives that this leaf is the symbol of hope. There is a dying patient and he looks at the leaf outside, and then when he connects that if this leaf will fell off, then I will also die. So the another person who listened that went and drew the leaf, so that he keeps on looking, that leaf is still there, though now the leaf is not a natural one but a drawn one, but that gave or sustained the life of that person. So how that leaf was a symbol of hope, of life, even though it was not the natural leaf. Then also, now here there are natural leaves coming. See the opposite. The opposite here is the natural leaves are coming here. So in that way, in that conventional sense of reading the story or literature where the leaf gives hope, here what happens that even if the leaves fail to give hope, even the situation of waiting is not ending. It is still like postponed for the next day. So if we see in the beginning that there are leaves now, so something good will happen at the end of this act. Something good. Now what is good in this play is the wait should end. That is the only thing that good can happen with the lives of this old people. And then even if the Godot comes and takes their lives away, then also it is happy ending. Then also death is not an unhappy ending. Again, we have to constantly have this clash between the traditional conventional literature and this modernist absurdist literature. In traditional we say tragedy means dukhant and comedy means sukhant. Here we say dukhant means death of a hero. That is, here we say even the death is revealing. Even the death has a hope. Even if one will die, even if the death comes, it also is good. That is how we have to see the meaning of this play. The conventional way of looking at the literature will not help us, and we have to always put a binary between the conventional meanings in the literature and this unconventional way of dealing with all those symbols which was experimented in modernist and postmodernist literature also. So death here is not dukhant, but it is rather sukhant. That is how we are. So they eagerly wait. So we hope. In the other class, we were talking about this story by this novel by Julian Barnes. Julian Barnes' novel, The Only Story. The Only Story. It's a kind of a love story. It is a kind of a love story, but it is told by an old person who is in 70s now, and he recalls his 20s, 50 years before, how he fall in love with a rather elderly woman, and that way. So one can say that it is a love story, but it is not a beautiful love story. It is an ugly love story. It is an ugly. So now the word ugly also is a misfit with love story. One would say that, well, love stories are always beautiful, but they are beautiful so far as they are told by the young people about the young people, and it is good that most of the great love stories end with the death of lovers. They are much younger, like it is Romeo and Juliet or Siri Farhad or Soni Mahiwal or any of those classical love stories people take. They all die in their younger days. That's why they are beautiful love stories. If they live longer, it is all tragedy. If they marry, it is a worst kind of tragedy. If the lovers marry, and then what happens in everyday life is all bickerings like Vladimir and Estragon. They keep on bickering with each other. So that is the end of the love. So it is good that they die. So that death is the sukhant of a love story. It may be a tragedy for an individual people, but for a story, it is a happy ending. The story is good only because young people are dying in younger age if they live. So Paul Roberts, who is the narrator of The Only Story, Julian Barnes' novel, he lives a very long life, and then he recalls the tragedy of the love. So that is, when you live long, the life itself becomes tragedy. Then the death is something that brings happiness in life. So that concept one can see here. So even if Godot comes or death comes, even if they die, they have a hope in something, that something next will happen. But this life now is terrible life. This wait is terrible. It can be for Godot or for death. Anyway, there is a hope lies in that way also. So last leaf here, when the leaves are growing here, we think that that will happen. But when we reach at the end of the play, we find that that is not happening. If there is no neither Godot nor death, then what is the meaning of leaves? Then why? What was the purpose of showing two leaves there? It was better it remained barren. It would have been better if it remained barren. Why the writer is putting two leaves or one leaf there when you wanted to end the play in almost hopeless situation as it is in the first. Perhaps the writer wants to say here, the meaning here that the writer wants to give is indifference of nature. Yes, indifference of nature. So nature does not care. It doesn't care for humans. Like it is completely indifferent. Whether you are happy or unhappy, it doesn't matter whether I will grow leaves or not. If you are very happy, then I should shine bright. When you are unhappy, a cloud should come. No, these are all your reading. I don't believe in those things. Nature might say. It is nature is completely maybe that is the meaning that he is giving. So when this is changing, one example that the change is there, but what is the meaning of the change? Traditionally, if you see, it should be like this. It is not like that. Then what is the meaning? Meaning is perhaps this, that the writer says that nature is indifferent to human beings. If you are happy for your own sake. If you are unhappy, you are unhappy for your own sake. It is not that the nature wants to make you happy or unhappy. So nature will design the things, or the kainat will make the design for everybody. The universe will make a plan that you get what you deeply crave for. Absolutely nothing like those things is there here. That is the meaning that it says. Any other writer like Paulo Coelho in The Alchemist or other work will say that if you deeply crave for something, then the universe will conspire that you achieve it. The universe will conspire that you achieve it. Beckett would say that, well, universe doesn't care for you. And it doesn't, whether you dream anything or you desire, universe has nothing to do. That is the meaning. So we are searching for the meaning of the play and how we can see the manner in which the play is performed. This gives us the key that this is how it is so similar, but there is something that is changing, but the change will not give us any kind of an understanding the way we try to read traditional literature and we try to get meaning also there. Yes, you want to say anything?
Yes, sir. In early Greek plays, and even in our even in our Indian plays, we also have a kind of nature-related ceremonies where we are constantly said that if you will not do this, nature will be disappointed by you, and they will not give you what you want in your life. So we can connect it with this an earlier big play for God Dionysius. I forgot the name of the dramatist, but he broke all these stereotypes of the idea which is connected to nature. That nature doesn't care for human.
Yes, yes. So that way we see. So our traditional literature or traditional rituals, they try to tell us that you do good to nature, nature will do good to you. But this literature or modern postmodernist literature that challenges our understanding of humans in the universe. So that their quest is also for understanding the nature and human relation in this universe, and that is where they find as such a meaninglessness. The meanings that were given by the traditional or conventional way of looking at those things, if you question those things, then one can find that, well, it doesn't happen. It is rather accidental, that sometimes it seems to happen. It perhaps might have some appeal at psychological level, but it doesn't mean in reality it happens with everybody as such. So with early morning, also people may be unhappy. With a beautiful sunset, also people might be unhappy. And those people who are happy might be very happy, even if it is midsummer day in Baisakhi or in the month of May, in the noon time where you cannot see even your shadow. Even at that time, also people might be happy. And one may not be happy with a beautiful morning or the evening also. We can use one another, rather we can say a comical example also, a comical interpretation also we can say. We have this idea that early birds catches worms. Early birds catches more worms, or this. So the birds who wake up early, they get a chance to catch more worms. So if you wake up early, you get a chance to get more success in life. If you are the first to enter into anything, there are more chances for you to get. That way we can metaphorically understand the things. Be the leader, be the first. There are more chances for you to explore that field, that region, those things. Then the other people who are late wakers, those who will wake up much later, you might have crossed several miles before they will wake up. But when we understand the metaphor, we understand the meaning behind that. But if we try to go by verbal meaning and we say that bird is there and the worm is there, and if you say, what about worm? If the bird is able to wake up early, maybe somebody told to worm also that you also wake up early, but the worm also woke up early and went out, and it just became a food of somebody. There is no chance. So for a worm, it is the food. So, like perhaps we have to say that you have to first see, are you a bird or a worm? If you are a worm, don't wake up early. There are birds who are roaming. Early birds are there, and you will become a food of somebody. You will become a victim of something. So first you identify whether you are a bird or a worm. Then you decide whether you should wake up early or not. So that is, so what is good for one may not be good with another one also. So what we read is not like universal truth, or like there is nothing like universal truth as such. There is absolutely nothing like what we call it as universal truth. As we have the sentence that article the is used with something that is universal truth. There is a rule of a grammar. Article the is, so we say the sun rises in the east. We make a sentence, the sun rises in the east, because these are universal truth, so you use definite article the with that. But if you ask somebody that really it rises in the east, then say no, it doesn't rise. It is the illusion that we get when we are on the earth. It is an illusion because earth moves in such a way that it creates an illusion that sun is coming and sun is going, sun is rising and sun is setting, is an illusion of living on earth. It is not really happening like that. It is the earth which is revolving and rotating around the sun. It is the earth that moves around. It is not the sun that comes and goes. So my way of looking that sun is coming and sun is going is an illusion. It is a lie. Universally, it is a lie. What we consider in our grammar book as universal truth is actually a lie. So how we see? So that is how here also, that for some where there is a meaning, that itself is the meaning which is created into a particular kind of discourse, or to like tell people some kinds of stories or messages. If we examine and question that, then there is meaninglessness. Within that also we can find it. Okay, so this is a manner in which Beckett tries to explore this, that we can see here. Then on the page number 27, on page number 27, there is this middle paragraph. But if we have to, this one, if we have to, I want somebody to read that paragraph. Page number 27, but if we have to, yes. Yes, who will be, yes, okay, yes, yeah.
But if we have to be cautious in our approach to Beckett's play to avoid the pitfall of trying to provide an oversimplified explanation of their meaning, this does not imply that we cannot subject them to careful scrutiny by isolating facts of images and things, and by attempting to discuss their structural groundwork. The result of such an examination should make it easier to follow the author's intention and to see, if not the answers to his questions, at least what the questions are that he is asking.
Yes, so what it says that one should be very cautious when we look at Beckett's plays, and oversimplifications should be avoided. Oversimplification uh, should be avoided. So don't try to oversimplify Beckett's play, or even this play also. Don't bring it into the conclusion of one meaning or one answer to the questions. Rather, what is important here, he says, is this, that it is good to see. What is good to see here, he says that uh, questions raised by author are more important, than the answers to those questions. Yes, what is important is not the answers, but here what is important is not these answers, but questions which are raised by the author. So it is better to remain with the questions, like the meaning of the play is in the questions which are raised. Meaning is not finding the answers to the questions which are raised in this play. That is where also one can see. So when we discuss meaning, this also is the phase that we have to come, that what is more important here is not finding the oversimplified answers to the very complex and abstract questions which are raised here. The very meaning is just reiterating the questions, repeating the questions. And like these are such kind of questions which will never have final answers, which are not going to have, as we have seen William Hutchings also say that why three plays which he says are very important. First is Oedipus the Rex, by Sophocles. This second one, Hamlet by William Shakespeare, and third this one, Waiting for Godot. So why he says that this three, because they all raised such a kind of abstract questions which helps us in expanding our mental horizons to think, but there are no easy answers. There are no like anywhere that we can find the meaning of this play in answers. It is in questioning only. So that is the part that one has to keep in mind when we discuss this here. So that is the part of this looking for the answers, how we try to discuss meaning of the play. That is very important. Then now we have to move towards the title. So in the next video we will talk about that. Next, there's about title also, and how the study of the title can also be added in search for the meaning. Search for the meaning. The article that we are studying here is also the search for the self. So ultimately, perhaps we will end in such a way that search for the meaning of the play is nothing but searching for the self. How we know something about us as humans or as individual, and who am I in a given situation with whatever family is given to me, whatever region is given to me, whatever religion is given to me, whatever country or time is given to me. In that, what is the meaning of my existence? Whereas ultimately the play leads to searching for the self. The self is the reader itself. In that way, the meaning of the play leads towards identifying oneself. That is the basic question of existentialism. Who am I? Why am I here? Can we get any answer with certainty? One can say that at any point of time, if I am in 20s, I have got one answer that I am this, and this is what I am here to do. If I will ask the same question when I am in 30s, the answer will change. The same question will I ask in 40s or 50s or 60s, the answer will keep on changing. If I will write down today, after this discussion, if you are writing diaries anywhere or in any of the blog or other thing, if you think that there are lots of questions about who am I and why am I here, I am this and this is I am here with this purpose. With whatever you think genuinely about yourself, that purpose of my life is this. Like it was to do MA. My purpose, I was born to do MA. That was the purpose, so I am doing MA. Otherwise, why would I be doing Masters of Arts if that was not the purpose of my life? So today it was this, I have to pass this. And then if you have a future plan that next what, after MA, what you want to do, that you can write that this is my purpose and this will lead me into becoming this or that. And so when I will, from being, I will become, then I will say that, well, I have fulfilled the purpose of my life. But you can ask the same question again in 30s, 40s, 50s. And if you are able to say that, well, my answer in the 20s was right, you are very fortunate and very lucky also, if that happens. But maybe that may not happen. Maybe you are then doing something else. And then again, you will be baffled with the same question. You will be baffled to see now, again, I have to see who am I and what is the purpose of my life, what am I doing now? That also can. But it is like every decade we have to ask this question. And then we are searching for the self. Search for the self is not something that can happen at any moment of time, but it keeps on changing as we keep on growing in life also. Okay, so this discussion we end here. Next one is about the title of the novel here. Okay, so you can end.